Last weekend has been very fun as me and two friends we went to Kukje Electronic Market down in Seoul. So let's have a look. So this here is the famous Kukje Electronic Market that is located in Nambu bus station, near the Nambu bus station and near the Nambu subway station. It is not too far from Gangnam. I would say it's probably about, maybe 15 minutes by subway or even by bus. It's very close. It's like 3 stops. So this is the building right here. This is the Kukje Electronic Market. All right, so now we are moving on to the Retro Cafe, the Retro Gaming Cafe. It's located not too far from the Kukje Electronic Market. It's about, once again, maybe 5 minutes by foot, not more than that, maybe even 2 minutes. It's really right next door. So now we're getting into the store. As you can see, it's a store/cafe. Was very fortunate because when I went there last Saturday, it was quite busy. Right now you can see there's a few people, but it gets even busier by the end of the day. I would say the whole place was nearly full. So they have a bunch of games, as you can see right here. The games are priced fairly, which is a big plus. So it's not like you will find garbage bin prices, but everything is priced fairly. So nothing is overpriced, of course. So of course, if you see something very expensive, it's probably because it's worth a lot of money. The great thing also with this place is they do have games from any console, like PlayStation, Xbox, even like older systems that use cartridges, like the PC Engine, which is the TurboGrafx 16. And there's even more like oddball, strange console stuff that they sell. So the other great thing also with this shop is that everything is very well placed and very well arranged. So as you can see here, all the Sega Saturn stuff is put all together and everything is by price as well. So everything like on the right side of the shelf is usually cheaper, and as you go further down, it's more pricey. So very well arranged, and you know where you're going. It's not like all mixed up. So as you can see here, they have also like very old systems, also some Dreamcast. So all the consoles from the old days, they have that stuff. It's very fun. And also many of those old systems didn't really exist in Korea or were harder to find in Korea at the time. So they're all the Japanese imports. They also have some gaming system there that you can try. So that is very fun, because if you have a coffee and you looked around, there's nothing really that you want to buy, but instead you would like to try some games, as people do there. You can bring your own console, you can play on your own Switch, or you can try their systems that they have set up there especially for that. So you can try some retro games on retro consoles. So you have like the Neo Geo right here. You have some like that use those huge cartridges. And you can play some older games like Bubble Bubble or whatnot. It's really fun. Here are more old consoles that you can try, like the Sega Genesis. And this one, I can't remember what this one is, but maybe if you're an expert, you know these consoles. The NEC, that was like a console that came out in Japan. Also retro. And I would say like many people do try these games out. It's not like they're sitting there, no one's playing them. There's a lot of people, actually like couples, that like to play these games for a bit and then have a coffee. So here's just another shelving unit, like full of games, full of old games, and you can ask the staff there. It's an old lady and her husband that actually take care of the shop, but the shop belongs to a younger guy, their son, but he's not all the time there. I guess he's busy with like his day job, so it's maybe more of his sideline and hobby. But you can ask the lady and the old man there, and they're very friendly and lovely people, by the way. Very, very, very good folks, and they're very helpful. So if you want to ask for a price and maybe they don't know because it's not their forte, it's more like their son's business, but you can ask and they will actually call up the person to ask for the right price. So they have a couple of figurines there also. I just filmed that around because it's just like adds up to the whole vibe of the store. Oh, this is the guy, the old man from the store. Very nice guy, by the way. And this is your overall view of the shop. It's quite spacious and very nice place. So before we dive into what I got from Kukje Electronic Market and the coffee shop, I just wanted to show you 4 games that I've ordered online, and these are not from Korea. They are actually from Play Asia. If you do remember that place, I think I talked about it in the past, but maybe some of you already know this place. So first off, we have Silent Hill. This is Silent Hill Homecoming. This game came out, I think, like early 2000s, something like 2011 or somewhere around there. I've never played it. Actually, I totally lost interest in the Silent Hill series, I think after part 3. It went downhill, and no pun intended here. But those now, since they're backward compatible, I really wanted to dive back into the Silent Hill series and try them on the Series X. And maybe there's like maybe some visual bump up or updates or something. So that would be great to try on a newer console. And as you know, since it's from Play Asia, and they have a very minimal stock of used games. All these games are brand new still, so that was a huge plus considering the prices are fairly okay, at least for if I compare it with Korea at least. So that's the first one. Second one, because I was into the Silent Hill mood, I grabbed Silent Hill HD Collection. I know this game got like a very bad let's say bad reviews, and it's not really liked by Silent Hill fans, simply because I think they were very bad ports of the original games. So, and also because it has Silent Hill 2 and 3, and this is called Silent Hill Collection, so you would be wondering how come there's no part 1, right? And also because it was done like very quickly, and not by Konami itself, but by another company. Apparently they didn't get access to the codes, the original codes for the game, which made the whole process very complicated and full of bugs, I guess. And they had to change a few things also, like at some points like you don't have any fog where there's supposed to be fog, so it breaks the mood of the game. Anyway, but also the interesting thing is if you want to play this game on a new console like a Series X, a PS5, this is the only way to do it, is through this game here that came out on 360, because this one is backward compatible with Xbox Series X, and as of now there are no plans on releasing Silent Hill 1, 2, 3 on the PS5. So if you want to play this on a new console, you have to go with actually this release. So it's a very, very fun thing, I think. That's great. And like I said, all these releases I got, none of them are from Korea. Like this is the American release and the previous one as well. Okay, next. This was like a bargain bin thing, also from Play Asia. This is the Asian release. Well, it says, you can see it right here. It says NTSC J. So NTSC Japan, Asia. But this is the Asian release. I think from the back, yeah, nothing really tells you because it's all in English. But I think it's like the Chinese copy. Well, at least at the bottom it says made in Singapore, but that doesn't mean it's a Singapore release, but I think it's just like an Asian release. So Rage, Bethesda game. There was no like remaster of this that I know. I know there's Rage 2 that came out on a newer console, but on the old console, the first Rage I don't think was re-released. And anyway, believe it or not, this was $1.99 on PlayAsia, so it was kind of a no-brainer. There was like only one copy left, so I grabbed it. Okay. Next, there was another bargain bin thing from PlayAsia. This one is Red Faction Armageddon, and for what I remember, I don't think I've ever played this game. I played the one before that, which was Red Faction Guerrilla? Yeah, that was the one. And that was so fun. It was like, now that I remember it, I think it was one of my favorite games on the PlayStation, on the Xbox 360 back then. Tons of fun. I mean, the multiplayer, the destruction, everything was so cool about that game. But Red Faction Armageddon, I don't think had like very good reviews, although I think it's kind of mixed. So anyway, again, it was such a cheap game to buy, brand new. This is also an NTSC-J release. So yeah, I just grabbed it. I mean, I'm probably gonna play it down the road, who knows. So yeah, so you have it, the Red Faction. So now let's get into the sweet stuff, the things that I did buy from the stores in Seoul. First one is Oblivion. I know this is nothing special, although this is the Korean release of Oblivion, original Korean release, and this is not like the re-release, the remaster, or the repackaged Game of the Year thing. This is the original one, and this is what the Korean release looks like. I can just open it up. The disc is in very good shape as well, which is great. There you got the pamphlet, also in good shape. You have the card, which is underneath. This game, I've never played it. I've played Skyrim, like I would say most people. I don't know if everyone played that game, but it's great. So I thought maybe I should give it a go for Oblivion Elder Scroll 4. And this isn't a game that should cost much. Although in Korea, like I know elsewhere, this game goes for like at least around $10, $15. But in Korea, games like the prices are all over the place. I did pay about $10 for this one, so it was in the zone, so I couldn't resist. I just grabbed it, and the copy is in excellent shape as well. So there we go, Oblivion. The next one is, I hope I pronounced this properly, Asuras Wrath. Asura, not Ashura, but Asuras Wrath. The Japanese game from Capcom. I've never played it. I've heard good things about it. My friends told me, oh yeah, this was great back in the day. Again, back in the day maybe doesn't mean like today would be good, but it looks like a brawler, tons of action. Looks fun, honestly. And this was surprisingly cheap, because I know this game tends to go up in prices online. I think it's it's going around $40. Even eBay got some copies, I think, for like almost $50. But this one was fairly cheap, and being the Korean release, I was in heaven. I really like that. I want to get those Korean releases, especially if they do have an English option. That's even better. So this is the Korean release. Also, even on the spine, you have the Korean title in Hangul. So Asuras Wrath. Korean release. Okay, next, I was after this one for a while as well, because I've heard so many good things. Dead Space. Yes, I've never played the Dead Space series. So yeah, this one came from the coffee shop that I showed you, and I think it was like less than $10, so that was a no-brainer. The spine light looks a bit faded, but not much, and for that price, it's a game I never see used. I checked everywhere. I even checked for part 2, part 3. I don't see them around. I guess because they're good games, people keep them, so Yeah, so this is the Korean release of Dead Space. Once again, this one especially, it's probably going to be the next one I'm going to try out, because it does look great. It does look fun and cool horror action game. All right. Next, oh, this was a big surprise. DJ Fight for New York, or Def Jam Fight for New York. This game is getting like insanely high these days. I mean, insanely high, depending on your wallet, I guess. But for an Xbox game, it is insanely high because it's one of the top games. By that I mean the games that are over $100 for a game that is not sealed. So this game is somewhere around, like, usually goes for over $90 and between 90 and 130, I think, on eBay. So this is the Korean release. As you can see, you have the Korean title right here, NTSC-J. It's legit, it's great, it's a Korean release. I mean, I know I keep saying this, but I'm stunned. Why? You know why? Because I kind of asked some expert about, the Asian release games, and I asked if this game actually came out in Japan, because usually what came out in, Japan makes so many games, right? So what came out in Japan will eventually maybe make its way in Korea, but never the other way around. Something that came out in Korea and that won't come out in Japan is kind of odd. But this one is the case. Apparently, Def Jam Fight for New York never came out in Japan. Again, unless I'm proven wrong, but I've asked people around and no one ever saw this in Japan, the Japanese release. So that could probably make this game the only NTSC-J release of that game. I mean, unless it came out in China or Taiwan or Singapore, like all those like Chinese-speaking regions. But otherwise, that would make it the only NTSC-J release of that game. And also, as you know, since it's a very expensive game, very collectible, I don't think I'm going to find another copy of this. Again, I could be surprised, but... And by the way, this was a steal because the price was so low, and I was surprised. I was expecting like $80 or something, but it was fairly cheap, so I jumped on it. Now I'm gonna get into the Xbox One games. This one I wanted to play since such a long time. This is Sunset Overdrive. Ever since it came out on Xbox One, and at the time I had a PS4, that's one game I was like, if only this would come out on PS4, but it never did. So now I have a chance to play it. Yeah, I know, like almost 7 years down the road, but hey, never too late. And this is the wonderful Day 1 edition, like you can see here. Has the parental warning, reviews here, ratings, Korean. You have the name, the title in Korean right here as well. So this is the beautiful Korean release of Sunset Overdrive. And it's in top shape, by the way. So very happy to own this one. And for the last game, in Kukje Electronic Market, there was a discount on some older Xbox One titles. I mean, like just a selection of Xbox One titles. They were all between like $9 and $15. I couldn't resist, but I had to grab Dragon's Dogma Dark Horizon. I've played this on the original Xbox 360, but it wasn't called Dark Horizon. I had the first version of the game, and I have to admit, I really liked it. It was like hard, it was difficult, but oh my god, I had so much fun with that game. Simply like the mechanic, like climbing on the monsters, stabbing them, having your little party help you out. It felt like a Soul game, but in its own, it has its own merit. It was good. So once again, here you have the Korean release. Although this is one of the cases where, it has the rating, right? But it's only a sticker. The rest of the game just looks like the American release of the game. They have another sticker here for like how do you say, languages, the version of the game, everything else, like the specs. They put like a little sticker. So I do believe this is just the American release with the sticker to make it like official in Korea. But nonetheless, that's really cool. So Dragon Dogma Dark Horizon, very good pick. Alright folks, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the little video, and I really hope I'll be able to grab more rarities and more Korean release games in the very near future. As I'm almost on vacation now, I hope I have like more time to go to Seoul, browse here and there, and maybe, yeah, find more stuff. I'm after like a few original Xbox titles, and especially also Xbox 360 titles, because as you know, those games are still fairly affordable. And also I do want to get the pricier ones out of the way. You know, like the expensive titles, like that Def Jam was one of them. So if I can find the other ones, but the Korean releases, I'll be in heaven. So yeah, anyway, stay tuned, and see you again next time.